Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Another health system falls victim to a cyber attack, putting the personal information of at least 1 million Michiganders at risk. Thanks for being with us for the news here at 6 o'clock. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skilly, and this is the latest big example of an alarming trend: cyber criminals targeting healthcare systems in order to steal personal information. Help Me Hank looking into what Corwell patients need to know tonight. Hank, letters have gone out informing people who might be affected, but it feels a little late, right?
Yeah, and those letters still may be in the mail. So if you haven't gotten one, don't worry just yet, or call Corwell yourself. Let's take a look at the numbers because this attack is huge. We're talking more than It's happened again, this time Corwell targeted. The breach involves Welltalk Inc., a software company, and if you're impacted, you'll receive a letter just like this one. It has key information about what you can do to take advantage of free credit monitoring. Enroll. It could protect your personal data. We received this statement. The following types of information may have been impacted: name and address, telephone number, email address. For a small group, Social Security numbers, Medicare, Medicaid ID numbers, or certain health insurance information were also implicated. For other individuals, information such as a provider name, prescription name, or treatment code may have been included. Threats like this one happening every day.
It's just big.
Yeah,
I mean, it's big. It's 1 million people.
Yeah.
So you think about, Beaumont and Spectrum and all of the people that have gotten services from those healthcare systems over the years, that's now all wrapped up into one.
Earl Doobie is a security expert with Oxium.
Whenever you get these letters, because I've gotten multiple of these letters this year, because it's just happening so much, you have to read each letter to figure out, do you need to go reset a password? Or do you need to go look at your credit monitoring, your credit history, put alerts on your bank account or on your credit cards.
The original Corwell hack happened a few months ago. The investigation has gotten underway. If you were impacted, you will in fact be contacted. And we did receive a very detailed statement from Corwell. We're going to put it all for you on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. But some of it's reading the privacy of our patients, health plan members, and team members a top concern. They're also encouraging those who have been affected by the attack to take advantage of that free credit monitoring service being offered right now. We're live here. Hank Winchester, Help Me Hank. Back to you.
You got it. All right, Hank.
Well, in a town with as many respected faith leaders as Detroit, you don't get the nickname Prince of the Pulpit without earning it. Tonight, as word of his passing spreads, the Reverend Charles Adams is being remembered as much more than a preacher. Victor Williams is live with a look at how Reverend Adams impacted lives here in Detroit and far beyond.
Well, it's a very hard time for Hartford Memorial Baptist Church with the loss of Reverend Charles Adams. But one thing is clear is that his legacy is going to be very great.
First of all, he was a great preacher, outstanding.
Pastor Emeritus Charles G. Adams of Hartford Memorial Baptist Church has gained his wings. His sister Edith has an entire lifetime of great memories and remembers his humble beginnings.
As early as 2 or 3, he knew he wanted to be a preacher.
Sadly, the 86-year-old died after battling pneumonia along with going into cardiac arrest. But his son, senior pastor at Memorial Baptist, also Charles C. Adams, reminisces on how loving he was.
He was the best father that you could ever have.
But in reality, his ministry has done so much more than just being a pastor and a father. He was able to help spark several businesses in the city.
I am also proud of the work he did in the community, that in 50 years of pastoring here, he was able to do a lot of economic development.
It was his legacy that led us to look at the church as a resource for the community.
Appointed pastor in 1969, he was also a civil rights activist. Here is a picture of him with Jesse Jackson. He later on became the president of the Detroit branch of the NAACP in 1984. He's widely known for the boycott against Dearborn businesses that prohibited non-residents from using parks in the area.
He taught us that the legacy is really love.
and family members are working on funeral arrangements at this time. Victor Williams, local.
A tremendous loss to the community, and certainly our thoughts are with his family, including his wife Agnes, during this time. Victor, we appreciate your report this evening.
Mortgage mogul Dan Gilbert gave everyone their money's worth today in a rare public appearance, speaking for the better part of an hour at a sold-out Detroit Free Press Breakfast Club event in Birmingham. Gilbert singled out mass transit as Detroit's biggest need. He says it's what millennials want and says the Q line exists to show the federal government Detroit can come together and convince it to spend the billions needed.
Just think about how great that would be if you had lines going to Metro Airport, up Woodward all the way to Pontiac, and then going west, and then going east. I mean, it would be unreal, it would be a different city.
Gilbert also said a new sports bar called Gillies, designed by his late son Nick, will be open on Woodward in time for next year's NFL draft right here in Detroit.
Ford today revealing the costs of the 6-week UAW strike and new contract on its operations. The Dearborn-based automaker says the strike prevented the sales of 100,000 vehicles, resulting in a loss of $1.7 billion in profits. That's significantly more than the $1.1 billion hit GM says it took. Ford says it's facing $8.8 million in additional labor costs over the life of the new UAW contract, and that will push up its manufacturing cost per vehicle by $900. But the automaker's chief financial officer said today the company wants to lower vehicle prices in 2024 by cutting dealers' profit margins and offering more incentives.
Governor Whitmer just signed a new package of bills aimed at protecting voter access and boosting election efficiency. The bills will put new regulations on deep fakes and artificial intelligence in campaign ads. They allow 16 and 17-year-olds to pre-register to vote. They criminalize violence or intimidation toward poll workers and repeal a ban on providing transportation to the polls on Election Day. The bills also add 9 days of early voting, all of this taking effect in time for next year's big 2024 elections. There's a desperate need for volunteers to be Meals on Wheels drivers, and the situation, in fact, is particularly dire in northern Macomb County.
Right, and if you were with us at 4 o'clock, you saw our Paula Tutman went through the volunteer vetting process to show what it's like on the ground as a volunteer, and she also saw what it's like when you're on the other side waiting for a meal.
You know, part of why I love my work is because of the people I meet. And this gentleman right here, Mr. Sarant, is amazing. He has a gorgeous home with beautiful property. And he really is proof positive that people come to Meals on Wheels for so many different reasons. There's a roaring fire in the fireplace. And the first question I had as a volunteer for the route on Meals on Wheels Macomb is, why would he need this kind of help?
I'm short of money.
He tells me that the blessings of growing old simply cost money. Chester was the sole caregiver of his wife of 75 years who died last spring. He's out of money, but he just can't walk away from the home he built.
And I'm trying to sell the place. My wife, she passed away because she had dementia for about 5-6 years. We moved out of the house here for 2 years.
Private care for his wife nearly wiped him out.
We were paying $6,000 a month.
When his wife passed, he moved back into the house he can't sell. He is so appreciative of this program.
My goodness. Oh, I like this. Oh, yeah. I like that.
He's living independently, and frankly, Meals on Wheels helps him keep doing that.
It's so wonderful that these people come over in all kinds of weather and they bring me food.
It's Meals on Wheels.
Looks like he's pulling up.
I'm your Meals on Wheels volunteer today. Can I help you up? Can we help you up? I'm worried about this ice. You're okay? Then we met 82-year-old John. He's been repairing sewing machines for 55 years, and thank goodness he still has the ability to do so because, for all intent and purposes, that is how he stays afloat now.
It's super important, I should say.
Why is that?
Well, I don't have much more. Meals on Wheels, they provide me with meals. Sometimes that's all I have.
There's a gentle kindness about him, and he's not sad about his situation, and he doesn't want you to be either. So you're still working, and you're still driving around and doing things?
Well, have to. I get no other choice.
Rachel, who's my volunteer coach as I drive for Meals on Wheels, while we're talking, she's out shoveling. Are you worried at all about being down 10 drivers for one area? Does that worry you?
It does me, yes. I mean, and I try to pick up extra days when I can.
We have the funds to pay for the meals, but we need a way to get the meal to that senior.
And here's the thing, if they don't get more drivers for this program, they're gonna have people waiting to eat. I want you to think about that for a moment. People who are waiting to eat, they've got the resources, they just don't have the drivers. We're gonna put information on our website, clickondetroit.com, to make it easy for you to apply to be a Meals on Wheels driver. Paula Tutman.
Paul, that was great. And you can see you meet some really great people
You
while
do,
you're doing
and
this,
it's
right?
probably more than the food. It's also the social interaction, too, that they get and enjoy.
Exactly right, yeah.
Great story, Paula.
Yeah. We got a little bit of weather worries out there coming our way.
We do, but let's just take a moment and look at this beautiful Christmas tree in Campus Martius. It is just gorgeous. Let's get over to Ron Hilliard because we've got a little bit of a mess that could be coming our way, depending on where you are, I guess.
That is very true, but it's hard to complain about wintry weather when you see scenes like that coming out of Campus Martius. Very stunning out there. Of course, what we're right there, you see Little Caesars Arena, which is going to be active tonight with, of course, the Red Wings hosting the Blackhawks. 48 right now in Detroit and Ann Arbor, Port Huron, 46, 47 in Adrian. Those temperatures out there are on the milder side, but they will be coming down just a little bit tonight. So a Zach Track 40 radar showing that we are clear when it comes to any precipitation right now. A few clouds developing across the area after seeing some sunshine today, but it is this system that is still to our southwest that is going to be moving up in our direction, giving us the chance of the rain and the snow come tomorrow. Now, this evening, we have those temperatures out there comfortable. We have the partly cloudy conditions, clouds developing. We are going to be talking about, though, the snow that comes tomorrow and also some accumulations for part of the area. And you want to make sure that you do have the forewarned weather app to track it all with us.
All right, Ron.